Let's be honest. We live in a world that worships comfort. We've been sold the lie that happiness comes from ease, convenience, and constant pleasure. But the truth? That's the exact formula that's aging you faster than time itself. After 60, your body, your brain, and your spirit crave balance, not indulgence. And today, I want to wake you up to 5 dopamine habits silently stealing your youth. Habits that look harmless but drain your energy, clarity, and joy from the inside out. First, stop reaching for the instant hit. Whether it's checking your phone first thing in the morning, that endless scroll through social media, or snacking just because you were bored, these tiny bursts of dopamine trick your brain into believing you're satisfied while your deeper self grows emptier. Every hit of easy pleasure makes it harder for your brain to feel natural joy. It's not about giving things up, it's about reclaiming control. Second, stop numbing discomfort. The modern brain has become allergic to boredom, to stillness, to silence. But those quiet moments are where healing begins. You are not meant to be entertained every second. You are meant to feel. Discomfort is not your enemy. It's the gateway to growth. When you allow yourself to sit with unease, your dopamine system resets, and suddenly the world feels alive again. Third, stop rewarding exhaustion with escape. Many people over 60 tell themselves they deserve the TV, the glass of wine, the sugar, the distraction. After all, they've worked hard their whole lives. But when every reward is a chemical escape, your brain stops rewarding the real things. Connection, movement, purpose, love. Real pleasure comes from meaning, not from numbing. Fourth, stop chasing youth through stimulation. You don't stay young by acting like you're 25. You stay young by keeping your mind curious, your heart open, and your body challenged. Learn something new, walk without your phone, talk to strangers. Use dopamine for learning and creation, not consumption and escape. That's how you build resilience, not dependency. And finally, stop believing it's too late to change. Your brain at 60, 70, even 80 can still rewire itself. Neuroplasticity doesn't retire. When you choose discipline over dopamine, you literally rebuild the chemistry of youth inside your brain. You become sharper, calmer, more alive. Every time you say no to the quick hit, you say yes to vitality. Every time you tolerate a little boredom, you unlock real joy. And every time you delay gratification, you earn back something money can't buy: self-respect, presence, and peace. So stop these 5 dopamine habits now, not because you fear aging, but because you love living. You don't need more dopamine, you need more meaning. And meaning doesn't come from pleasure, it comes from purpose. You've lived long enough to know that the best things in life aren't instant. They're earned. So today, take back your brain, take back your energy, take back your youth, one powerful choice at a time. Every time you chase easy pleasure, you trade away real happiness. It sounds simple, even cliche, but it's one of the most profound truths about the human brain. We live in an age of abundance, endless entertainment, instant communication, one-click shopping, and dopamine on demand. Every beep, buzz, and scroll gives your brain a tiny spark of excitement, a synthetic sense of reward. But the problem is, the more you feed it, the hungrier it gets. That small spark that once felt like satisfaction soon becomes emptiness, a craving that never ends. The brain is beautifully designed to reward survival. Not scrolling, not overeating, not passive consumption. Dopamine was meant to drive us toward what gives life meaning: connecting, building, creating, learning. But when it becomes hijacked by the constant chase for stimulation, it stops working as nature intended. What used to bring you deep joy, conversation, a walk, a shared meal, a moment of peace, begins to feel dull. It's not that life has become boring, it's that your reward system has been overstimulated and numbed. When you're younger, your brain can bounce back faster, but after 60, the balance between pleasure and pain becomes more fragile. The dopamine system doesn't disappear, but it becomes more sensitive, and that means it reacts strongly to both reward and withdrawal. Every burst of instant gratification from your phone, from sugar, from constant noise is followed by a dip, a small wave of emptiness. You feel tired, restless, maybe even anxious without knowing why. So you reach again for the next quick fix, and the cycle deepens. This isn't about guilt or self-blame, it's about awareness. The human brain isn't designed for constant pleasure. It's designed for rhythm, for the dance between effort and rest, challenge and reward. When you allow yourself to delay gratification, something extraordinary happens. The brain resets its baseline. It begins to feel joy again in the simplest things: the warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter, the stillness of the morning. Real happiness is not found in the high, but in the calm that follows self-control. Chasing easy pleasure robs you of that calm. It tricks your mind into believing you're alive, while slowly dulling your capacity to truly live. The irony is that the more you try to feel good, the worse you often feel. Because real pleasure isn't free. It's earned through patience, presence, and purpose. Every time you resist that small urge for something instant, you give your brain the chance to rebuild its natural balance. You rewire it for strength, not dependency. After 60, happiness isn't about adding more pleasure. It's about subtracting the noise that keeps you from feeling it. It's learning again to sit with a cup of tea in silence, to look at the sky without a screen between you and the moment, to listen, to breathe, to be. Every time you choose meaning over the momentary high, you're not giving something up. You're getting your life back. That's not loss. That's liberation. Discomfort is not punishment. It's your brain's path to healing. We live in a culture that teaches us to run from pain, to soothe every ache, to fill every quiet space. The moment we feel lonely, we reach for the phone. The instant we feel tired, we pour another cup of coffee. When boredom creeps in, we scroll, we snack, we escape. But what if the very feelings we're running from are the ones designed to restore us? What if discomfort isn't the enemy, but the medicine? The truth is that the human brain was built to experience both pleasure and pain, and to find balance between them. Every time we chase constant pleasure, the brain compensates by pushing us toward pain. That's how it restores equilibrium. So when you avoid discomfort, you're actually interrupting your own healing process. You're keeping your brain stuck in a loop of craving and withdrawal. You feel restless, unfulfilled, uneasy, not because something's wrong with you, but because your brain is begging for stillness, for space, for a reset. We've turned comfort into a lifestyle, but comfort was never meant to be constant. It was meant to be a reward, not a way of life. The more we protect ourselves from small doses of discomfort, hunger, silence, waiting, effort, the weaker our tolerance for life becomes. The brain needs resistance the way muscles need weight. Without it, we grow fragile. With it, we grow strong. After 60, many people start to believe that comfort equals peace, that slowing down means avoiding struggle. But real peace doesn't come from avoidance. It comes from engagement. It comes from allowing yourself to feel everything fully, even the hard things. A moment of frustration, loneliness, or sadness isn't something to be numbed. It's something to be experienced and understood. When you sit with those feelings instead of escaping them, your brain begins to adapt. It learns that pain doesn't destroy you. It transforms you. That's the paradox of healing. It doesn't come from chasing relief. It comes from accepting reality. Discomfort teaches patience. It strengthens emotional endurance. It rewires the brain to find calm without needing constant stimulation. And in that space, something remarkable happens. You begin to feel alive again. The same sunset you used to ignore suddenly moves you. The same conversation feels deeper. The same silence that once felt unbearable becomes peaceful. Healing isn't glamorous. It's slow, quiet, and often uncomfortable. But that discomfort is a signal, not of damage, but of growth. It means your dopamine system is finding its natural rhythm again. It means your nervous system is learning to breathe. So instead of asking, how can I feel better right now? Try asking, what is this discomfort trying to teach me? When you stop running from pain, you stop running from yourself. You give your brain the chance to heal, to stabilize, to rediscover joy without needing the world to entertain it. Discomfort isn't your punishment. It's your path back home. To balance, to presence, to genuine peace. Your brain doesn't age when it learns. It ages when it stops being curious. The moment curiosity fades, the brain begins to slow. Not because of years, but because of inactivity. Learning keeps the neural pathways alive. It's not the number of birthdays that make you old. It's the loss of wonder. The brain is a living organ designed for growth, renewal, and adaptation. Even after 60, it's capable of building new connections, forming fresh memories, and reshaping how you think and feel. But that only happens when you keep feeding it new experiences. Curiosity is not just about gathering knowledge, it's about staying open to life. It's the spark that keeps your mind vibrant and your spirit awake. The tragedy of modern aging is not physical decline, it's mental withdrawal. Many people stop asking questions, stop trying new things, and settle into routines that no longer challenge them. But when you stop learning, your brain begins to conserve energy by pruning unused pathways. It becomes efficient but not alive. Efficiency without curiosity is the slow decay of the mind. After 60, learning looks different, and that's the beauty of it. You no longer learn to prove yourself, you learn to expand yourself. You learn not for success but for connection, reading something unfamiliar, exploring a new technology, starting a new hobby, or simply listening to a different perspective. These acts keep your dopamine system balanced. They provide small, natural bursts of pleasure that come from growth, not consumption. Each time you learn something new, you tell your brain we're still in the game. We're still evolving. Neuroscience has proven that the brain retains plasticity throughout life. That means every challenge, every puzzle, every effort to stretch your understanding keeps your neurons communicating and thriving. But the opposite is also true. When curiosity dies, the mind stiffens. Repetition without reflection breeds stagnation, and stagnation feels like fatigue, boredom, even depression. It's not always that your body is tired. Sometimes it's your brain begging for stimulation with meaning. Curiosity also protects you emotionally. It turns fear into fascination. Instead of shrinking from change, you begin to explore it. When something feels uncertain, curiosity asks, what can I learn from this? That mindset keeps your brain resilient. It transforms stress into opportunity and aging into exploration. The key is not to wait for motivation. Curiosity doesn't appear on its own. It grows when you take action. Pick up the book, sign up for the class, take the walk in a new neighborhood, talk to someone who disagrees with you. Every new experience feeds your brain a message of vitality. Your brain is like a garden. It doesn't stop growing because of time, only because it's left untended. Keep planting curiosity, and it will keep blooming. Age will still mark your body, but curiosity will keep your spirit ageless. The moment you stop learning, you begin to fade, but as long as you stay curious, you stay alive, awake, vibrant, and beautifully human. Pleasure is powerful, but without purpose, it becomes poison. The human brain was designed to seek pleasure for survival, to eat, to connect, to rest, to love. Pleasure was nature's way of rewarding what kept us alive. But in the modern world, pleasure has been separated from purpose. We can feel good without doing anything meaningful. We can get the dopamine rush of achievement without effort, connection without intimacy, satisfaction without depth. And that's the silent trap. The more we indulge in easy pleasure, the less we feel real fulfillment. When pleasure is detached from purpose, it loses its beauty. It becomes addictive, repetitive, empty. It's the scroll through endless screens that never satisfies. It's the snack you don't even taste. It's the distraction that promises calm but leaves you anxious and hollow. The brain becomes conditioned to chase these empty rewards, flooding itself with dopamine, then crashing into fatigue and restlessness. You feel alive for a moment, then strangely dull. You try to repeat the feeling, but it never lasts, because it's not rooted in meaning. Purpose gives pleasure direction. It gives it weight. When you experience joy through something that matters, through kindness, through creation, through contribution, your brain doesn't just light up temporarily. It rewires itself for balance. The dopamine spike becomes steadier, more sustainable. It's the difference between eating sugar and nourishing your body. Both give energy, but only one sustains you. After 60, this balance becomes even more vital. The world often tells you to slow down, to retire, to relax, as if the absence of effort equals happiness. But the truth is, your brain still craves purpose. It still wants to serve, to create, to be useful. Pleasure without purpose can make you comfortable, but purpose with pleasure makes you alive. The joy that comes from helping someone, from learning something new, from using your wisdom, that's the kind of pleasure that strengthens the mind instead of draining it. Real pleasure isn't about intensity, it's about depth. It's not the thrill of the moment, but the meaning that lingers. It's the quiet pride after finishing something difficult, the warmth of connection after an honest conversation, the peace that follows doing what's right instead of what's easy. Those moments don't flood you with dopamine. They balance it. They teach your brain that pleasure is not the goal, but the reward for living with intention. So ask yourself, what makes you feel good today and why? Does it bring you closer to something meaningful, or is it just another escape? The difference between purpose and poison lies in that question. When pleasure serves purpose, it heals. When it doesn't, it harms. The good news is, it's never too late to shift. You can retrain your brain to find joy and purpose again. Not through denial, but through redirection. You don't have to give up pleasure. You just have to give it meaning. And when you do, every moment of joy becomes nourishment for your soul, not a numbing of it. You can't control time, but you can control what you feed your brain. Aging is inevitable, but decline is not. The years will pass no matter what you do, but how you experience them, how alive, sharp, and connected you feel, depends on the choices you make every single day. The brain is not a passive passenger in the aging process. It's an active participant. It responds to how you treat it, what you expose it to, what you think about, and what you believe. Every habit is a signal to your brain, either to grow or to shrink, to strengthen or to weaken. What you feed your brain isn't just food, it's everything you consume. The conversations you have, the content you watch, the thoughts you repeat, the emotions you allow to linger. Every word, every image, every idea becomes part of your mental diet. And just like your body, your brain becomes what it's fed. If you feed it negativity, fear, and noise, it begins to mirror that chaos. If you feed it challenge, curiosity, and calm, it grows more resilient, more capable, more alive. After 60, your brain becomes even more sensitive to its environment. It craves stimulation that nourishes rather than drains. Yet too often, we fill our minds with distraction, constant news cycles, endless scrolling, background chatter that adds no value. The mind becomes cluttered, overstimulated, and tired. That fatigue is not just emotional, it's neurological. The dopamine system gets trapped in a pattern of instant highs and deep lows. The more stimulation you consume, the less satisfaction you feel. It's a slow erosion of joy disguised as entertainment. But here's the truth that neuroscience confirms. Your brain can renew itself. It can build new cells, form new connections, and find new balance. That renewal doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing differently. Feed your brain silence. Feed it nature. Feed it real conversations, real books, real gratitude. When you choose mindful input over mindless noise, your brain begins to heal. The fog lifts, your focus sharpens, your energy returns. The most powerful nourishment for the aging brain is meaning. Purpose acts like a nutrient that keeps the mind vibrant. When you wake up each day with something to contribute, even something small, your brain releases chemicals of motivation and vitality. It knows it still matters. And when the brain feels it matters, the whole body follows. You can't stop the clock, but you can stop wasting what time gives you. You can choose to protect your attention like it's gold. You can choose to guard your peace as carefully as your health. The inputs you allow today become the mindset you live with tomorrow. Time will keep moving, but your brain doesn't have to drift with it. You have the power to shape it, to feed it with love, challenge, quiet, and truth. That's how you stay young from the inside out. By choosing, moment after moment, what you allow to grow within you.